And the big story this evening in hot water ever since its trailer was released 5 months ago. Today, the movie, The Kerala Story, viewers finally found itself being featured on 2 platforms. And also, as far as the reactions are concerned, remember there's a full-blown political war that has been witnessed the last so many days. Not only did it survive multiple attempts in courts to stall its release, it also found endorsement from none other than Prime Minister today. In Karnataka, that is. In the latest twist to the plot, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today used the film to expose Congress's pro-terror script and accused the party of acting like a terror apologist by trying to ban the film.
ये केरला स्टोरी की इन दिनों काफी चर्चा है। देश का इतना खूबसूरत राज्य उस केरला के में चल रही आतंकी साजिश का खुलासा ये केरला स्टोरी फिल्म में, केरला फाइल्स फिल्म में उसे किया गया है। और देश का दुर्भाग्य देखिए कि कांग्रेस आज समाज को तहस नहस करने वाली इस आतंकी प्रवृत्ति के साथ खड़ी हुई नजर आ रही है। इतना ही नहीं, ऐसी आतंकी प्रवृत्ति वालों से कांग्रेस पिछले दरवाजे से राजनीतिक सौदेबाजी तक कर रही है। वोट बैंक के डर की वजह से आज कांग्रेस आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एक शब्द बोलने की भी हिम्मत खो चुकी है। वोट बैंक की इसी राजनीति की वजह से कांग्रेस ने आतंकवाद को पाला पोसा।
Now let's talk about what happened today. Apart from the Prime Minister's message sent out to the opposition, there was a High Court judgment that must be spoken of. Now, why we say this is because while refusing to entertain the plea, the High Court said that there is nothing offensive against a particular community in the movie, that says it is only inspired by true events and has a disclaimer too. However, the teaser that claimed 32,000 women from Kerala were recruited for ISIS is to be taken down from social media. Significantly, here is what the court said while dismissing the petition. Let's quickly talk about the biggest takeaways, the biggest observations that have been made by the court today, and I'm going to quickly take our viewers through those observations point by point. Observation number 4 currently on your screens. Apart from this, of course, the court spoke of what is there in the film against Islam, no allegation against the community, only ISIS. Movies show sannyasis as smugglers and rapists as well. So if there are particular movies in the past that have shown people from other religion in bad light, then why are we trying to bring in the religion analogies? What said by the High Court, the Kerala High Court. There you have it. Observation number 3, movies show sannyasis as smugglers and rapists. That has happened in the past is what the High Court says. No one says anything about such movies. So why have such a big issue with a movie like The Kerala Story? It also has a disclaimer that the film is a fictionalized version. Why, despite a disclaimer, is so many questions still being put out by several in the political sphere? In Kerala says inspired by true events, cleared by the censor board. Despite the censor board clearance, yet these questions continue to be asked, is what the Kerala High Court maintains. So it's very important to really highlight what was said by the Kerala High Court. Apart from this, remember, there has been no relief for the petitioners in the case who were seeking a stay on the release of the film from the Supreme Court as well. As far as political reactions are concerned, remember the Congress reacting to what the Prime Minister also said, accused by the Prime Minister of shielding terror, hobnobbing with radical elements, continues its opposition. Listen in.
The makers of Kerala Story should reveal the entire world that where from they have got this much evidences that 32,000 of Kerala women are converted to Islam, and those women are used for the religious or the terrorist activities of ISIS in Iraq and Syria. This is false. We have no evidences. I asked the Chief Minister of Kerala to say and to declare the entire world that how many FIR have been lodged that women of Kerala are converted to Islam.
And here is proof of Congress's past with several like the PFI's political wing, the SDPI. In Karnataka, remember, while there's no former alliance with the party, the behind-the-doors understanding is for one and all to see. And that's something that the BJP has also raised time and again. And yet those kind of questions continue to be put out by several political parties in Kerala. Very, very interesting. So let's quickly open this up. But before that, a quick reaction from the SDPI.
देखिए, कर्नाटक में इस बार हंग असेंबली आने वाली है। किसी सिंगल पार्टी को मेजॉरिटी नहीं आएगी।
ओके।
तो इसमें एसडीपी से 16 कैंडिडेट्स को हमने फील्ड किया है। हम बीजेपी से 700 कोई भी हालत में हम नहीं जा सकते, क्योंकि हम उनको आइडियोलॉजिकली अपोज करते हैं। तो अगर दीगर कोई सेक्युलर पार्टी या सोकॉल्ड सेक्युलर पार्टीज अगर कोई मिलजुल के अगर एक जेंटलमैन एग्रीमेंट में अगर कुछ हुकूमत बनाने का मौका है, तो हम भी अपना रोल अदा करेंगे।
So let's open this up. That said, also keeping aside what's happening in Karnataka and why these kind of questions continue to be asked of the Congress, remember, in Kerala specifically as far as this movie is concerned, the Kerala story has been objecting to it since day one. Let's open this up. Tom Vadakkan, spokesperson of the BJP. We also have ex-MP and spokesperson of the CPIM, Sebastian Paul. Mr. Paul, my first question to you, given the kind of observations that have been made by several courts, because we've seen this particular issue reach the courts the last few days. Every now and then we've seen a hearing take place, we've seen arguments be presented, we've seen courts also making certain observations. Supreme Court of course refusing to intervene, did not want to stay the release of the film, spoke of the censor board as well. But what the Kerala High Court stated today, very, very important as to why are we overreacting about this whole case. And then comes the Prime Minister who says, look, there are political parties who are bound to side with these kind of sentiments. Mr. Paul, can you hear me? I believe you're on mute, sir. If you could please unmute yourself.
Yes, madam.
Yes, go ahead.
Madam, in Kerala, naturally, there is protest against the movie. The first objection is relating to the title of the movie itself. They say it is a Kerala story. This is not the Kerala story or actual story prevailing in Kerala. Mr. A.R. Rahman, the music director, has tweeted something yesterday to show that a Hindu couple, young boy and girl, they are getting married according to Hindu custom and rites in a Muslim mosque, the support of the local Muslims. Such type of communal amity is prevailing in Kerala. Here, what the filmmakers has portrayed Kerala in a very bad light. They allege that 32,000, a staggering figure of 32,000 Hindu and Christian girls are forcibly converted to Islam.
Sir, as far as the number 32,000 is concerned, the filmmakers, given the kind of protests that were taking place even before the release, by the way, they decided to turn around the number 3. They took it back to 3, so that stands settled at this point in time. But the filmmakers haven't gone back on what they've maintained. They say that they've done their homework right. If we go by the figures, they've of course cited the likes of Oman Chandy as well on how there has been a confession by leaders to that effect, stating that yes, religious conversions have taken place in the state of Kerala. But that said, they say that the figure perhaps goes up to 50,000, but they've been compelled to do so perhaps.
No. What is the basis? That is the basic question. From where, on what basis they arrive at this figure 32 or 50,000, and at some stage they will come down to 3, and all those things. It cannot be justified. I am not a man who objects the freedom of the filmmakers to make a movie based on a story, imaginary or otherwise. But here the title itself is misleading. The title is Kerala story.
But now you have a disclaimer, Mr. Paul. You have a disclaimer. The Kerala High Court says it's a fiction. It's not going by history. Why are we overreacting about it? The High Court also says, interestingly, and Mr. Paul, and you should comment on this, there are movies that have been made in the past that have spoken of sannyasis in a bad light.
Yes, we all allow freedom of all the filmmakers or writers, because our constitution itself guarantees freedom of speech and expression. But there are limitations, restrictions for that. Here, our main objection is that it may not be insulting to the Islam. It may not be insulting to the
Sir,
Muslims.
it's speaking of terrorism, and that's what the Prime Minister said. It speaks of terrorism, exposes terrorism, and certain have a problem with that kind of an expose that's being put out to the world. Mr. Vadakkan, how do you read into the Prime Minister's rebuttal that's come in, and now link it to, this kind of a sympathy that certain political parties have for the larger theme that has been put out by the film?
Well, the Prime Minister's spot on. In fact, the founder of 10 years research that has gone into this film. And the last 2 weeks, we have been hearing debates of people who had not seen the film. And they were debating that, well, this is not the Kerala story. For God's sake, go and see the film. Today they have seen the film, and there is a fear psychosis being spread. Some theatres have lifted the movie from being screened, and the law and order situation is something which the CPIM should take care. And now as to the Congress has gone into, disturbing peace there on the grounds that they have a connect. And they're kind of mentoring terrorism. I mean, this is no small activity. And this is a reality brought out by our CPM spokesman has not said that, but Achyutanandan ji has said about this conversion and the other jihad and all that. And so has Oman Chandi. So let us not, push it under the carpet and say all is well in Kerala. This is the story. We need to address it. This is not about the Muslim community. Let me get that straight. This is about those radicalized youth who have been misguided and who are using women for purposes which are
But Mr. Vadakkan, this can be so very dangerous. I mean, you have leaders from Kerala, both from CPN and from Congress, who go on to say that this is produced as part of a Sangh propaganda. They're speaking of how this is anti-minority in nature. The Prime Minister also did not even touch upon that aspect today. He said, look, this is about terrorism, and that is something that the world must see today. So why are the lips of several from the Congress and the CPM today rattled about it? Why are they afraid of the truth?
This is to me?
Yes, Mr. Vadakkan. Why is it being misinterpreted? Why is an attempt being made to fearmonger over the same?
CPM has its own reasons. There is this IA camera scandal which is opening up. So they need something diversionary. And then we have a situation of the gold smuggling case. Now all that is to be sidelined, and now a new focus. And then there is a vote bank and there is appeasement. That is the CPM's lookout. But Congress party, I am surprised, is now demonstrating against this film in such a way that, well, nothing of this kind happened. Their own chief minister admitted it. And they talk about secularism, they talk about democracy. Is this democracy when a film which has freedom of expression is screened? You scream that, well, this is not the story.
To mislead the viewer and to create this kind of a panic even before the film is released. Mr. Vadakkan, Mr. Paul, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's all the time we have.